Hello, my loves. I am coming on live on Facebook. Hopefully, I'm live. Hold on a second. Okay, I think I'm finally live. Let me just double check. Cool. I am definitely on the internet. Let me just share this out to my Facebook community real quick. And then we'll get started. Okay, cool. Awesome. I'm super excited to be coming on live today to do this video teaching. If you're tuning in from Instagram or YouTube, hello, thank you for tuning in. I'm super excited to be talking to you today. This video is being done live on my personal Facebook account, and I've also shared it out to my Facebook community. So within 24 hours or so, it should be uploaded to Instagram and YouTube. So if you would like to be able to tune into these videos right away instead of waiting for a whole day, then I definitely suggest that you join my Facebook community. The links to my Facebook community will be on YouTube on this same video in the comments below, or other videos that I have on YouTube. It should be in there for you to click on the link to join me on Facebook. Okay? Awesome. So I'm super excited to be doing this video. If this is your first time tuning into one of my videos, my name is Stef. I'm the Psychic Soul Alignment Coach, and what I do basically is I just work with spiritual people, spiritual entrepreneurs, to help them to do very deep levels of healing known as inner work or shadow work, in order to help them to powerfully align with more of who they truly are on this deeper spiritual level, on a soul level, higher self level, and as a result of this deeper, inner alignment with who they truly are, they're then able to much more easily navigate life and more easily create whatever reality or outcome that they desire. So that's how I help people. On my YouTube channel, I have videos on the subjects of manifestation, mindset, healing, spiritual entrepreneurship, spiritual activism, my personal experiences and things that I just share. So if these are things that interest you, then I definitely suggest that you go and follow me on YouTube. There's tons of free content there, and definitely subscribe to my channel on YouTube. And if you subscribe there, be sure to click the bell notification button, change your settings to all, so that you're always notified of when I do upload videos, because I just kind of do my thing and just show up whenever. So yeah, awesome. So please let me know wherever you're watching this video from, whether it's Instagram, YouTube, Facebook. If you're catching the replay on Facebook, let me know. And yeah, wherever you're watching from, drop your questions, insights, comments, experiences, anything you want to share with me in the comments below, because I would really love to hear from you and to support you in any way that I can. Cool. So all week long, I've been doing, well, the week just started. So what am I talking about? The last week or so, I have been doing videos on manifestation. So I actually have a playlist on YouTube. It's titled Manifestation 101. I'll put it up here in the cards for you to go and click on, so that you can go watch my previous videos. And yeah, I've been talking about manifestation and quantum leaping specifically. Okay, that's a little bit different than like regular manifestation, I guess, when you're wanting to manifest them. So they're like the same and different at the same time. Quantum leaping is another level, and sometimes it's a little bit more challenging, sometimes for people, depending on what they're wanting to quantum leap into. So I've been discussing that all week, well, the last week, because today's Monday. Is it Monday though? I forget, I lose track of time. Yes, Monday. So yeah, so if you're excited about this, please let me know by giving this video a thumbs up, a like wherever you're watching from. I'm super excited to get into today's video. I've already discussed other topics, such as, for example, yesterday I did a video on why people struggle to detach from the outcome when quantum leaping. I gave 3 reasons. And then previous to that, I did a video on, let me go through my notes, if I can find it. I don't know. Go to my playlist on YouTube, because I can't find it right now. Oh yeah, I found it. Mistakes people make when quantum leaping. So 5 mistakes people make when quantum leaping. And other things I've been talking about. So if that interests you, go through those videos. But anyway, today's video topic today is all around 7 ways you're overthinking quantum leaping. And by overthinking it, you're basically making it much more difficult for yourself. So please stop doing that, okay? So we're going to get into it. So first of all, I've already discussed what quantum leaping is in a previous video, but I want to give you another example or explanation of what quantum leaping is. Quantum leaping is basically you choosing to Be the version of yourself that you are in the reality you wish to be in, okay? That you wish to manifest, and that you be that version of you consistently until your reality gives, okay? That's basically what quantum leaping is. So whatever version of you that you like to be, okay, you have to be that version consistently until reality matches who you are. That's basically quantum leaping. It's that simple, okay? But even though it's that simple, like I said in my last video, we overthink things. We get in our own way as humans because that's what we do. And it takes a minute to learn to get out of our own way and let things flow and become more effortless. So anyway, yeah, I wanted to talk about the 7 ways in which you're overthinking quantum leaping. And I really hope that these provide you with tremendous value and clarity and aha moments that you can then learn from and stop doing these things and make your life better, okay? So the first reason that I want to talk about, or first way that you might be getting in your way when it comes to quantum leaping, is you might be thinking that you need to do XYZ step, XYZ ritual, XYZ technique, okay, in order to quantum leap, okay? So you might think that quantum leaping is not going to be possible unless you do this specific technique or step or whatever it is for you, okay? And that can be further from the truth. If you've been following me for a while, you know that I am very much against anything I need to do. This is why on YouTube I just show up whenever I want because I don't need to follow a schedule. And I do things my way, whatever feels right and true and good for me. And so when it comes to quantum leaping or any kind of manifestation, you don't need to do any kind of particular step, ritual, practice, or whatever in order to quantum leap, in order to manifest, okay? That's a lie. That's just what our egos tell us in order to keep us busy. And so what this ends up doing for a lot of people who think that they need to do this step, this technique, this ritual to quantum leap, is that then it causes them to go on the the manifestation technique hunt. And so they'll go on the YouTube or the internet, usually YouTube, I think, and they'll start looking for, ways to quantum leap, and they'll look through all the videos, and they'll find all these other, amazing YouTubers, people out there sharing content that share all these different techniques, steps, rituals to quantum leap, and they'll start going about implementing these practices. But yeah, if that practice that they implemented didn't work for them because they didn't do the deeper inner work that I've been discussing in my past videos, go watch those in the playlist that I'm talking about. And if you're on Instagram, I created, what's it called? I don't know what it's called in Instagram. It's like, hold on a second. It's like a series. So I have a all things manifestation series on Instagram. So there are videos there that you can check out. But yeah, when you think that you have to do these techniques, practices, and rituals, then you go off on the hunt online trying to find the right one, the one that works, right? And so if the first ritual that you do or practice or technique that you do doesn't work, then a lot of times people will just go off and find another one, and then they'll try to implement that. And if they feel like that didn't work for them to quantum leap, then they'll go to another one, and so on. And what this basically does is people just jump from technique to technique to technique, because with the first technique they didn't see the results that they wanted, and so they think that there's something wrong with that technique, or that technique just doesn't work for them, which could or could not be true. It depends on the person. So then they just move on to the next thing. But actually, a lot of times the reason that the technique, the practice, the ritual didn't work for them is because they didn't do all the things that I've been talking about previously, which is the deep inner work, working through issues around trust, attachment, believing, etc., whatever. They didn't do all these different things. And so chances are they just gave up on the technique too early, or whatever it was. Or there's so many reasons why maybe the technique didn't work for them. Maybe the technique truly wasn't in alignment for them. It didn't feel right for them. The way they were doing it or applying it wasn't aligned for who they are and what feels right for them. There's just so many reasons. But this is what happens a lot of times, is people overthink the techniques, the practices, the rituals. They think that there's some one almighty technique out there that's going to help them to magically quantum leap. And that's not the case. All of these techniques are pretty valid. They can work for people, but if they don't work for you, then chances are it's because you haven't been doing certain things required for it to work for you. Because goodness, it's like I said, it's just so complex in the sense of like per person, like I said, one person, maybe the technique didn't work for them because they really just gave up too soon. And they caved when they got to the, what's it called? The transition period that I mentioned in one of my previous videos, where they're about to make the shift, but they're not seeing the results right away. And so they think it's not coming. So they question and they doubt and this and that. And it just throws the whole energy off and then they don't move forward. And then, they're like, oh, this technique doesn't work. I might as well just, go look for another one, whatever. But it wasn't that. It's just like they struggled to get through the transition period. And then, they just mess with the energy because they probably build momentum, but they quit too soon. And then, they try to find another technique or whatever. And they just go and it's like they build up the energy and then they drop it because they lose faith. And then they go find another one and they build up the energy and they drop it because they lose faith and so on. And so they're on this roller coaster and they never actually break through. Does that make sense? Sorry. I feel like I'm yelling. I don't know, but it's just like so clear to me. Sorry if I'm yelling at you or if it seems that way, but that's not my intention. And so that could be one of the reasons. Another reason is simply because, people are just doing techniques that really just aren't in alignment with them, but they are doing them because they think they're supposed to do them. They need to do them in order to succeed. And so they're doing these things, but it's not like in alignment for them, right? Like one of the things that I do as the psychic soul alignment coach, especially when I'm working with spiritual entrepreneurs, is I teach them how to do business their way and what feels right for them. And I teach them to understand that they're not here to be me or to do things like I do. They're here to do things in their unique way and what feels good for them and align for their souls. And so, a lot of times people think like, oh, I need to do this technique in order to quantum leap or manifest. And maybe that technique just really isn't in alignment for you, right? But you think you need to do it. And so you're like overthinking it because you think like, oh, no, but this technique is amazing. It works for this person. It's helped this person achieve XYZ goals. And look how, successful they are or famous they are or whatever. And I need to do that too. And you're just like overthinking it, instead of really allowing yourself to be guided and guided to the techniques, the rituals, or practices that are really just right for you. Okay. I hope I wasn't cross-eyed for a minute. Like I just saw something floating. I was like, what? Because there were orbs in my video last time. Did you see that? Go back on, watch that video around like 8 minutes, 48 seconds. There's like one orb that went like this way and another one that went this way right away. And I was like, wow. Anyway, so this is how you could be overthinking quantum leaping, okay? That you just keep trying to search for all these techniques, practices, and rituals. And it's like, you don't even need to do all that, right? Don't even need to do all that. And you don't need to like force yourself to do practices, techniques, rituals, or whatever that don't work for you. That just aren't in alignment for you just because they work for other people. So please stop that. Okay. And don't think that just because, I'll get into it in my next little, ways that you might be overthinking quantum leaping. Okay. Number 2, okay, in terms of ways that you might be overthinking quantum leaping is there is definitely a certain level of like discipline and structure required when it comes to manifesting. You do have to, it is important to focus your attention and energy to a certain extent, right? But a lot of times when it comes to quantum leaping, people will sometimes overthink quantum leaping and think that they need to like structure their day in such a way where they have like this schedule, this thing like practices, like, okay, I got to do this every morning and I got to do this after that and I got to do this, and they'll just like have it so rigid and structured, thinking that they have to follow this, this itinerary, I guess, every day or routine every day in order to quantum leap. And that's just stressful, man. That's just stressful trying to keep up with that every single day like a robot, like a soldier. Just like at 0700 you do this, at 0800 you do that, and then you just like are doing it, Like it doesn't have to be that intense. And like I said, like structure and discipline is important. It's required to a certain extent, okay? But some people just overthink it and they just make this stuff feel like work. And it's not supposed to feel like work. Quantum leaping is not supposed to be hard. It's not supposed to be taxing on you. It's not supposed to be this difficult, right? Trust me, I made it difficult for a really long time. And I was such a person that I was so disciplined and rigid because I was like, no, I'm determined and I will do this and I'm ready to get out of my way. And like, boss lady Stef out here, like boot camp trainer Stef would come out and be like, we are going to get this done. And I mean, that served me to a certain extent. It was part of my journey. But I understand now with where I'm at in my journey, now that I have greater balance between my masculine and feminine energies, like all of that rigidness, the structure, the things step by step, like do this, do this, do this in order to quantum leap, in order to manifest, like you don't need to do all that. You really don't. It can be easy, right? So throughout my entire day, I'm doing things, yes, practices and things like that, but I'm not like structuring it, whatever. It just doesn't flow well with me because I am a very like up in the air kind of person. I really don't have any specific plans in my day unless I'm working with someone or whatever. Other than that, my day just is whatever. And that's what works for me. Maybe for other people who are more structured, they need a little bit more of that, or because of their lives or whatever it is that they need to have certain things, you know, carved out. So it just depends on person to person, but some people are just so strict and rigid and they just overthink it because they think that it has to be this complex, this structured, in order for them to succeed. And that's not true. Okay. It doesn't have to be that way. That is low key you trying to control things. And I talked about, you know, a lack of trust and control issues in my last video. So go watch that. That video was all on, what was my topic again yesterday? I don't even know. Why people struggle to detach from the outcome with quantum leaping. Okay. So go watch that. I'll put it up here. So basically, yeah, when your practices, your techniques, your rituals to manifest are just so strict and rigid and you just stick to it like a robot or a soldier, just like executing this dun 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 one after the other, that's like low-key control. You are so in fear, you are so in lack, so in scarcity. You got to work on that, okay? Because you're overthinking it. The universe is for you. You don't need to be trying to do all the things to make it happen, okay? So that is number 2, okay, for ways in which you might be overthinking quantum leaping, okay? Number 3 is, and I kind of already started speaking to this a moment ago, was, you know, you do techniques, rituals, practices to quantum leap or manifest that other people are doing, like, because like you do it the way that they're doing it. Do you know what I'm saying? Because it worked for them. And so you're forcing to also implement those practices too, just like them, because it worked for them. So you think that you have to do it in the same way as well. Does that make sense? And so you're not here to force yourself to be like anyone else or to do anything like anyone else, right? Of course, you know, yes, you can implement those practices if they feel right and true and aligned for you, you know? And that's great if you found someone that you resonate on that level, that their practices also can be your practices. Like, nothing wrong with that. But a lot of times people feel like, I have to do it like this person. I have to show up like this person. I have to like implement or practice manifestation like this person. And they do it so, you know, just like the other person. And because those practices, those techniques, those rituals are in alignment for that person based on where they're at and who they uniquely are and their stuff at the time, it works for them. But maybe you have a whole, you know, you're completely different from them. You have a completely different like path. You have a, you know, different spiritual beliefs or beliefs in general or whatever it is. And maybe just those techniques, like those people, are just not in alignment for you. Okay. So when you think you have to do these quantum leaping or manifestation practices just like other people, you know, because you think that's the way to quantum leap because they're doing it and they're good at it, you got to do that too. No, that's not true. Okay. At all. And the reason that I'm saying this is because I have seen a number of YouTubers recently who are like very, I guess, direct in their approach with how they teach people to manifest. And so they think, they're like, this is how you manifest, this is what you got to do. And they're just like on it, like hard, like their perspective is like, this is what it is. Do this, and this. And so the people that follow them then think, oh, okay, I got to do it like that. Got to do it like that because they're telling me to, and because, you know, whatever the reasons are. And there's nothing inherently wrong with that, okay? I'm not trying to put any of those YouTubers down. Those YouTubers are perfect for their audience and what their audience is meant to receive from them at the time. But me, okay, if you're watching one of my videos, I'm not the kind of person that tells you this is the one way to do it. I'm the kind of person that shows you these are all the different ways to do it. Which way feels good to you? Which way feels right to you? I let you figure it out because I'm not here to tell you who to be and how to do things or whatever. So I help you to align with your authentic soul's expression of living, of being, of doing business, manifesting, whatever, right? So I'm everywhere. And so the reason I'm saying this is because, yeah, you know, if you are coming across other YouTubers and they're saying like, this is the way to manifest, this is the way to quantum leap, you know what? Take what resonates from those people and leave what doesn't, okay? Because you're not here to try to force yourself to manifest just like they are, to quantum leap just like they are, just because they're doing it and it works for them, right? Like what they're saying is not necessarily the law, is what I'm saying. So don't think that you have to limit yourself to their way of manifesting. That's what I'm trying to get at here, okay? Because then you're basically, that's like overthinking it. That's like, okay, yeah, I got to do it this way because this is the one way, and, you know, I got to let go of all these different things, whatever, you know? So don't limit yourself in those ways, okay? Do what feels right and aligned for you, okay? I hope that made sense, okay? Number 4, in ways that you might be overthinking quantum leaping is, and, you know, this is connected to number 3, forceful manifesting. And I'm going to talk more about that in an upcoming video, okay? So stay tuned for that. Don't miss that because I think it's very important. But I do see certain YouTubers online who teach forceful manifesting, and they're kind of like drill sergeants, and they're like, you got to do this, this, and this, and you just got to keep affirming, and you got to do this. And they're just like so hardcore on, you know, what you think all day long and this and that. And there's nothing wrong with that. It serves a purpose. It's truth for sure to a certain extent, but it's very forceful. And so when you come from the space of, you know, thinking that you have to think like, and put all this pressure on yourself to like constantly think away and constantly do this, like you're overthinking quantum leaping. Quantum leaping is not about like drilling stuff into your head until you believe it. It's not about that. It's about just being relaxed and being the version of yourself that you already are in that reality you want to be in. Does that make sense? It's a completely different energy. Like if I'm constantly telling myself like, oh yeah, I'm a 7-figure entrepreneur. I'm a seven-figure entrepreneur. And I'm just like constantly like repeating that and like trying to like convince myself all day long and telling myself that this is why I'm all day long, this and that. Like, I'm not saying repeating affirmations isn't right or appropriate. Like, it's necessary sometimes. It's a good manifestation practice. I'm not discounting that. But if I'm constantly like drilling it because I think that's what I need to do, whatever, and this and that, like, it's just a lot of work. It's a lot of work. You're overthinking quantum leaping. Like, you don't need to be forcing yourself and like trying to really have this belief sink in or whatever, because when you are just being that version of yourself in that version of reality that you want to exist in, you want to realize in your life, you're not there like forcefully like trying to put this in your brain. You just are. You just are. Like, you just think the thoughts that you think in that version of reality, in that version of yourself. Like, you just are. So when you think you have to constantly like be like a drill sergeant to your brain, and I'm not saying you don't need discipline around this stuff. Believe me, it's important. You do have to have a certain level of discipline with your thoughts and, you know, with how you're choosing to feel about things, think about things, etc. But it's when you're coming from this forceful energy that you're overthinking it. You know, that's like that low-key control again. That's you subconsciously thinking that this is what you have to do to succeed, to quantum leap, to make yourself be that version of yourself that you are, you know, in that reality and so on. So this is how you could be overthinking it. Please don't do this. But I mean, if you feel called to, maybe that's an important part of your journey and that's what you need in that moment, and that's okay, you know? I mean, we all go through different stages, and I for sure have gone through that stage of being a forceful manifester and just being a little drill sergeant to myself, and, you know, making myself think all these things like hardcore. Like the energy behind it was just like pushy and forceful. And we'll talk more about that in that upcoming video. Okay, so way number 5, or how do I say that in English? I can't even speak anymore in English, but number 5 on the list of ways in which you're overthinking quantum leaping. If you're a person on the spiritual path and you're a healer or a person who believes in healing, etc., then one way you might be overthinking quantum leaping is you might think that you might have to do like constant healing work or past life healing work or constant just trauma work or whatever in order to quantum leap, okay? And so you might be feeling like, oh, okay, maybe it's not showing up and I gotta still work around this and I gotta go heal that. Or, you know, my manifestation isn't showing up the way I want it, so maybe it has to be connected to a past life or whatever. And you're like constantly going back to the past lives, to the traumas, to the healing. And let me tell you, you know, I believe healing is very important and it's very valuable and it's necessary. The way that I teach healing is very deep, and the way that I teach manifestation is also very deep and requires healing, as I've stated in previous videos why healing is required. But you don't need to constantly be going back to the healing and thinking, oh, you know, it's not showing up yet because probably got some more healing work to do, and you have to keep going back. Like, a certain level of healing is required, and once you've done that, you just keep it moving. And so this is how you might be overthinking quantum leaping, is constantly trying to be healing all these things, addressing past lives or whatever it is, traumas and things like that. And it's like, you don't need to be doing all that. Okay? You just needed to be doing the things that were relevant to help you to move forward and align yourself and make it easier on yourself. But you don't need to constantly be going back. Because all you really achieve every time you constantly think that you have something to heal, something to work on, some past life thing or whatever it is, you just keep attaching yourself to your story and holding yourself back. And it is sometimes difficult to recognize because you think that you're doing something good for yourself, and you are doing something good, you know, to a certain extent. But there's a fine line there. There's a fine line between, you know, healing and excessive healing. And when you're crossing that line of excessive healing because you're overthinking, then you are basically just keeping yourself stuck and attached to your old story, your old stuff. So yeah, you know, that's basically it. Every time you think that you have to do deeper healing work when you don't really need to, you're just basically saying like, something's still wrong, quote unquote, something's still wrong with me, something's still out of alignment, something's still off, and I need to address that first before I'm worthy of receiving, before I'm worthy of being this version of myself. And you're just basically still affirming the old instead of stepping into the new. So this is what happens with a lot of people, and I definitely have been there, so I get that. And yeah, every person has to know when enough healing is enough, right? So this is why my program, Next Level Manifesting, we do healing in the first part of it, and then we move on. And we don't do any more healing necessarily unless it's absolutely required as we move throughout the rest of the program. So yeah, but more info on Next Level Manifesting at the end. All right, so what else? Number 6 on this list. Oh yeah, okay, so number 6 for the ways in which you might be overthinking quantum leaping. You might be having some conflicting spiritual beliefs. And this is a big one, okay? That people, I don't think, notice. And it's going to be different from person to person because we all have our own unique beliefs and our own, you know, things that we have to go through. But your conflicting spiritual beliefs might be making manifesting and quantum leaping harder than it needs to be. And an example I want to give of this to all of you from my own experience is that I made manifesting so hard on myself and quantum leaping hard because I kept going back and forth with myself. Because a long time ago, I manifested something absolutely amazing, mind-blowing results, something I thought I could never do. And I was on top of the world when I manifested that. And then I received guidance from my spiritual mentor at the time, who told me that I had manifested from a very forceful place. And then I felt bad, and I felt like I had done something wrong. And I understood what they were talking about, that I had manifested from this forceful place. I didn't realize it at the time, but I recognized it afterwards. And I understood, like, okay, I got to learn to not try to force things, but to allow things. And we're going to talk more about that in that video that I said on forceful manifesting versus soul-aligned manifesting. And so then, as I moved forward with my manifestations, I kept questioning, like, well, you know, I believe I'm the creator of my reality and I can create whatever I want. But then I got to let source, you know, have my back and support me in making this happen. And I got to just trust and let go. But I am the creator of my reality, and I am meant to focus on things, and through my focus and my attention and this and that, bring it into reality. But am I getting in the way of source, you know, and the divine plan, and source helping me, and blah, 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 blah. And so I had all these conflicting back and forth beliefs on manifesting and quantum leaping. And I just kept messing up the energy every single time for a long time, because I kept going back and forth. And the thing is that, you know, if you've been in the spiritual game for a while, you pretty much, I'm sure, know and understand that all truths are valid. Okay? So they're all valid to a certain extent. And we can hold conflicting truths sometimes, you know? That's like the paradox of this world. And so we have to go about then the path of finding that middle ground in our truths, right? So they can coexist. And it took me a hot minute to find that balance between what I believed in terms of me being a deliberate creator of my reality and me doing my part to bring that about, versus allowing God to help me, source to help me, to make it happen, to let go and trust and surrender and not get in the way, not interfere. It took me a hot minute to find that balance, right? But because I had these conflicting beliefs, I kept going back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. Like, am I doing it right? Am I getting in the way? Am I letting go enough? And da da da. And I just kept going back and forth, overthinking like crazy, making my life hard. So, this is how you can be getting in your way with your manifestations, okay? And that's like an example specific to me based on my beliefs. You might have different ones, but that might be one of the reasons why you overthink, you know, quantum leaping and manifesting, okay? All right, and the last one for today's video, ways in which you might be overthinking quantum leaping. You might be looking for signs or proof of your quantum leap, of your manifestation. And when you don't see the signs you want or you expect, you might question everything and then wonder, well, is this working? I don't think it's working, or I don't think it's working anymore, or I don't see it coming, I don't see blah, 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 you know? So when you go down that path of thinking that you need to see synchronicities, messages, signs, whatever, in order to know that it's coming, then you're just overthinking it. You don't necessarily need to have those things to know it's coming. You just know. It takes a practice to get to the point where you just know. But yeah, you know, when you're purposely looking for these things and you don't see them, then you start overthinking everything. Then you start questioning everything. Then you start doubting and whatever it is. And you just basically, you know, bring down like any momentum that you had. And you get in your own way with these manifestations, right? So, yeah, you know, I really hope that these 7 ways in which you may be overthinking quantum leaping have helped you, that they've helped you to maybe see some of your own mistakes, things that you can improve upon, things that you can let go of, and allow yourself to move forward with so much more ease and grace. So I really hope that this has helped you. If it has, please give this video a thumbs up, a like wherever you're watching from. And be sure to let me know in the comments below how this message, this video, this teaching today resonated with you. And if you would like to have support with your manifestation, if you would like to be assisted in understanding what it really takes to quantum leap, then I would really love to have you join me in Next Level Manifesting, my 12-week program. We kick off this Saturday the 28th, and it's an amazing 12-week program in which I'm going to be assisting you with taking you through the process of really guiding you and supporting you and really being able to become the version of yourself that you are in your desired dream reality, right? So that's what we're going to be working on over those 12 weeks is we're going to do the deep healing work, inner work, the deep mindset work required, and to really bring forward powerful teachings, perspectives, experiences that will help you to let go of the old you and really step into and embody this version of you that has the life that you want. And as you lean into that and you just enjoy your life. You're not thinking, you're not trying to force things, trying to make things happen. You're not being hard on yourself, whatever. You're just living as this highest version of you, enjoying your life, knowing that that's who you are as you be, then everything will be drawn to you. Everything will just show up because that's just the law, right? It's funny because there's been this quote online for many years, and I saw it on TikTok as well earlier today. And it was like some video saying something about like, I don't chase, I attract. I know we've all seen that quote in some way, shape, or form at some point on the internet. And that's basically what it is that when you become that version of yourself that you are in your dream reality, when you just be that version, you're not chasing anything. You just attract. It just comes to you because that's who you are. That's who you are. But being that version of you is sometimes a bit of a process, especially when you want to be that version of you with ease and grace, okay? Because I know that there are people out there on the YouTube, on the internet, they're teaching manifesting and, no shade to them. They're teaching manifesting, but they're teaching it in a very forceful way where, like I said, they're the drill sergeants. They're like trying to like force it to happen, make it happen, like be a certain strict way or whatever. And, that works for them and that's cool. That works for their followers. That's what they need apparently. But if you want to be able to do it with ease and grace and just enjoy yourself and have fun and let it be easy and just effortless and natural, if that's what you want to do, then you're going to have to do inner work. You're going to have to do the inner work for all the reasons that I've stated in previous videos. Okay. So that way you don't constantly get triggered by your old stuff and keep getting pulled into your old identity. You just have to do the inner work in order to be able to much more effortlessly show up as this version of yourself naturally and effortlessly. And so that's what the program does for you over the 12 weeks. It helps you to deconstruct your old self and consistently again and again and again, and help you to start stepping into the new you with much more ease and grace so that you actually really own that version of you. Because I know right now, when you think about your quantum leap, whatever your dream reality is, and you think about that amazing life that you desire, okay, just hold it in your mind for a second. Like think about your dream reality that you want to step in and how amazing your life is then. Maybe you have your dream relationship. Maybe you have your dream body. Maybe you have your dream job. Maybe your business is kicking off and booming. Maybe you're serving all these amazing, people all over the world on your social media. Whatever that is, okay, that you desire, even though to a certain extent it might make your heart sing, at the same time for a lot of people, it generally makes them fearful because they're like, how in the world am I going to do that? How in the world is that going to happen? How in the world can I, align with that, especially if you've struggled in the past, right? And so to get rid of that feeling of disbelief, to get rid of that feeling of smallness, of insecurity, of powerlessness, you got to take yourself through a process. And so that's what we're going to be doing in Next Level Manifesting, is taking you through that process week after week after week to let go of the old and be able to step up into the new with grace so that it feels natural. It feels like, yeah, like, of course I am this person. Of course, this is how I show up in the world. Of course, this is what I expect in life, you know, and it's given to me, of course. And you can show up as that version of yourself powerfully, and yeah, you know, just allow for it to show up and happen. So that's what we're going to be doing in Next Level Manifesting. If this is something that interests you, reach out to me. And if you're watching on Facebook or YouTube, the link to the post that contains more information and payment plans will be in the comments of this video, so go check that out. And yeah, I really hope to see you there, because it's going to be an absolutely life-changing program. It's going to radically change your life on so many levels, and you're going to walk away feeling so much more empowered and confident in your ability to be the powerful creator that you desire to be in your life, and know how to powerfully and effectively co-create with the universe so that it can be easy. You don't get in the way. You just allow things to show up. You allow yourself to receive, you know. So that's what we're going to be doing. So anyway, thank you so much for your time. I really appreciate you. And I will see you in the next video tomorrow. I'll try to get on earlier. And yeah, if you have any questions, comments, insights, let me know below. Okay, bye guys.